Hey, what's up guys, it's Apollo Uchiha here and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm back with a new short movie. The name of this short movie is What If Naruto's Family Took Revenge on Konoha. And yeah guys, it is an unscripted short movie and my own idea. Now before continuing this is a disclaimer. This might be a little bit of on the dark side of the what ifs that I usually make. I mean, I have made a lot of dark and fucked up what ifs, but this is going to be a little bit darker as well. So yeah, this is a disclaimer in advance because one of you guys said so I should give this in advance if I'm going to make a dark what if. So here it is. Anyways, moving onwards, make sure you leave a like and subscribe to my channel if you like the content of this channel, and please do send in your recommendations about mangas, animes, or even, your ideas and comments, because I love reading them and engaging with you guys in the comment section as best as I can. And moving onwards, yeah, I have started, Eminence of the Shadows manga. It is going great. Sometime later onwards, within this week, I might or might not make a movie, or who knows, maybe a short movie as well. Anyways, enough said. Without any further ado, let's begin with our today's short movie. Our story begins on October 11th, one day after the QB attack, as it was the afternoon of that day, and the shinobis of the Set village were still trying their best to clear out the debris and recover the people that were buried deep inside. And not only that, gathering the dead bodies and preparing them for a grand funeral that was going to be held soon. As we go towards the Hokage office, where the atmosphere was still solemn, but a little bit of happiness was also ensuing there, because Minato and Kushina had become parents last night of two baby boys, Menma the oldest and Naruto the youngest as well. Unfortunately, due to the past night events, they had to be turned into the new Jinchurikis of the Kyuubi no Yoko. Menma becoming the Jinchuriki of the Yang side of the Biju alongside the Yang side of the soul, and Naruto becoming the Jinchuriki of the Yin side, the good side. As now we see, both of the parents were not alone inside the room. There was Hiruzen Sarutobi, and they were currently waiting on for one more member, because last night, after everything that ensued, a letter arrived in Minato's office through a toad, and it was from Jiraiya. He was coming back to the village with the news that was important. As now we see, there was a knock on the window, as Minato looked towards the window and sighed. "When are you gonna use the door, sensei?" As Jiraiya just smiled. As Hiruzen Sarutobi then said, "I tried my best in my early days as the Hokage, and he didn't listen to me. He is your sensei. What makes you think that he would listen to you?" Come on, don't be like that, sensei," said Jiraiya as he came in through the window and greeted all of them. "So these two are my godchildren, huh? I'm like a grandfather now." "Well, that you might be, Jiraiya, so you better act like one," said Kushina, as Jiraiya had a sweat drop on his face, as he has a twitching eyebrow as well for being called out for being too old as well. Anyways, I received your letter last night, sensei. What did you want to talk about?" "Well, it is about something regarding the children. I presume that you have made both of them into the Jinchuriki, right?" "Yeah, I did." "Then it is high time that we leave this village because of what you have told me, and because of the reason why am I here." "What do you mean by that?" said Hiruzen. As Jiraiya looked towards his sensei and said, "I'm gonna explain that now, sensei. The Toads have given me a prophecy that the child of prophecy is already born in Konoha from the Yellow Flash and the Red Death, and those two are the monikers of both Minato and Kushina, as we know, given to them because of their, fierceness in the battle by the enemies." As the three of them nodded. "So you're meaning to say that my children could be the child of prophecy?" "Yes, your children could be, or at least one of them." "What do you mean by that, sensei?" "Well, it is said that your child would be, I do not know if it is one child or children. That is the reason we have to, take you and your kids away from this village." "Wait. We can't do that," said Hiruzen. "What? What do you mean by that, sensei?" "The village needs Minato here, and what am I gonna tell Council once you're gone? Who is the Jinchuriki? I mean, at least they know that Kushina cannot be returned to be made a Jinchuriki, right?" That is troubling." So what do you suggest, Sensei? What should we do? We can't stay here for obviously two reasons. One, because we have to go on a training trip, and the other, because of that masked person, we have to go into hiding because he vowed that he will return again. Isn't that right, Minato? Yeah, he said so himself. As Hiruzen then said, then how about this? Leave one of the kids here, and the other one can be taken. What? Said the three of them, quite confused and shocked because it was their sensei who was suggesting this. Hiruzen-sama, with all due respect, I don't think I'm gonna do that, said Minato, as Hiruzen then said, why not? I mean, you are the Kage, and you have a responsibility, and besides, you said so yourself that Menma was holding back the more stronger and violent side of the Biju, right? So isn't it more appropriate for you to first train Menma, and after he's properly trained, then you move on to Naruto? Sensei, but we don't have that much time. And not only that, both of the kids might be vital to the prophecy. And not only that, what if Naruto is the child of prophecy? What will we do then, and not Menma? As Minato also agreed with the sensei's words. We are not gonna pick and choose here, Sensei. We have to take both of them. I can't allow that to happen, you know that, right? Because how am I gonna answer the council? Because they, alongside the shinobi, saw Jiraiya that Minato put and sealed the Biju inside a child or children. I'm not sure if they saw both of them, but they did see at least an infant child there at the battlefield. And knowing the Anbus that were patrolling, some of them might have been even from the route. What? But I made sure that route division was no longer operating. You think Danzo would listen? Damn it. And you know that if the council meeting arises, then he himself will make sure that you and the Jinchurikis remain here. Damn it, he is kind of right, said Jiraiya. But we can't leave them here. How about we make a blood clone or something and leave that here as a decoy? That is a great idea, Sensei, but how will the blood clone, live out that long? I mean, the blood clone can at best last a few months, maybe, if Jonin of your caliber is doing it, said Minato. Then I will make a blood clone of the infant Naruto, and we can leave that here. How about that? And you know what? This way Naruto can be with his family, and both of the children can be trained properly so that they have a fair shot, and we have a fair shot as well of knowing who is the child of prophecy. As the conversation was going on, while Hiruzen was trying their best to convince them that they should at least leave one child here, we see that the elders on the other side begin to knock. It is us, the elders, as now we see the silence pursued on the other side of the door, as the door opened by Hiruzen himself. Come in. As the three of them set a foot inside and saw that Jiraiya, Minato, and Kushina and their kids were already there. As Danzo, looking at the kids, instantly then said, so these two are the Jinchurikis. And what of it to you, Danzo? These two, even though they are the clan head's children, they are also a part of property of Konoha. You know that, right? Because the Biju is a property of Konoha. The Biju is a sentient being that was sealed by Mito-sama. It is not a property of Konoha. If anything, the Uzumakis have a claim over it. My clan. As Danzo knew that was the truth and gritted his teeth because Kushina was able to find a loophole even in between. But you are a shinobi of Konoha, are you not, Kushina? Of course I am, a Konoichi of Konoha. But more than ever I am an Uzumaki. And Naruto is my son and heir to the Uzumaki clan. And Menma is the heir to the Namikaze clan. And since they are the heirs, you can't have no claim over it, and neither can the village. As knowing the rules of Konoha, what Kushina set out was indication that Danzo couldn't do shit. Well, that might be true, but we have the orders of the daimyo and the whole council here. I was already aware of your plan, so I made a move beforehand. What did you do, Danzo? Said Hiruzen. I have made sure that a Jinchuriki is here at all times. You have to leave one of the kids here. How did you do this? Who allowed this to happen? Who else? We the elders and the previous Hokage, Hiruzen Sarutobi himself. What? But I did not. It was your last day, Hiruzen. You were just tired of doing the paperwork. I slipped this in and got it signed from you. It was your mistake for not reading it. It was already there in front of you and mixed up in the papers. You did this. Of course I did. It was a dirty tactic, I know, but you're aware of me. I play dirty in this field. And to make sure that the village is always up ahead, I have to ask this. You have to leave at least one of the child behind. If you won't, then we have the right to take it by force. As Jiraiya looked ahead and saw that the confrontation was coming and said, "Wait, calm down. This isn't what it seems, Danzo. This isn't as simple as it looks. Both of them could be a child of prophecy, in the prophecy that is about to be fulfilled. We do not care about the prophecy and such things, Jiraiya, because these things won't come true. But what if they do?" As Hiruzen then said, "What Jiraiya is saying is correct. The three of you won't understand. Since I am a part of a summoning clan as well, I know the prophecies are sacred and they will fulfill. Once upon a time, Enma told me about a war happening with Konoha and Konoha becoming victorious under my rule. And that was the third great shinobi war that he was talking about. And that did happen, didn't it? So you think that this will happen as well. And what if we don't allow both of the Jinchurikis to leave? Then what will happen?" "What will happen is war will ensue. Konoha will be the one this time to be consumed by it." "What?" said Hiruzen. "Like we will allow that to happen. Konoha has and always has been on the top and has the capability and caliber of surviving even in the worst conditions possible. You think that we would allow such a prophecy to hinder us? No. We have always survived, Jiraiya. We are survivors. As Hiruzen and our sensei told us," said Homura, "we have the will of fire to survive and fight on, even when the odds are against us. They always have been from the beginning, hasn't they? Even if, but this time it is a prophecy that concerns the safety of my village and could be the end of it. And the prophecy is directly sent by Kami to the Great Elder. Even if it may be, we will change it with our own will," said Koharu. "Now, the documents are here, and we have the right to claim over a child." As Koharu went and picked up Naruto, as Kushina tried to intervene, but she was stopped by the shinobis that arrived there. It was Minato's own shinobi that was stopping him. "What are you doing?" "I'm sorry, Hokage-sama, but these are Daimyo's orders, and he has the higher authority over you. We can't do anything in regard of this." As that is when Dragon even arrived, the head of the Anbu commander. "I'm sorry, Minato-sama, but the orders are given, and we are to follow them. Even if I hate it, we can't intervene, and we can't allow you certainly to intervene." "But that is my child!" As Danzo then said, "We will take good care of him. You don't have to worry about anything. Mark my words, Danzo. I will return back sooner or later, and if anything is to happen to him, I will make sure that you are the first one to go 6 feet deep underground. You should thank God that you were able to slip by this easily this time, because mark my words, even if a single hair from him is missing, there will be war," said Minato, and for the first time looking like a true menacing wild beast that was untamed towards Danzo. So much ferocity and killer intent for his release that everyone there was for the first time fearful of Minato. And Kushina, she was like the QB incarnate herself. "You have already been warned." And this was the only threat that Kushina gave, as Jiraiya himself was not far behind. "Even if I hate this, I'm siding with them. Remember this, Sensei. Naruto's responsibility as you wanted and wished is now yours. But don't even think for a moment that I won't drop by any time unannounced to check on him. And once I do, he better be safe and sound. And if anything goes wrong, you can kiss my ass goodbye, because I will be leaving this village once and for all. You can kiss your spy network goodbye and Asanin as well. And who knows, maybe I might go and form the Sanin group again by making sure that Orochimaru do not stick to my side. Because to me, that child mattered the most, even more than the village itself. Got it? As for the first time, Hiruzen was on the losing end, seeing that the ones that have trusted him and held him in high regards were now looking at him with menacing and cold eyes. As he looked down, I see. I'll make sure that he's okay. And we're gonna go first talk to Daimyo about this once we leave, said Kushina, as she grabbed Menma and looked behind towards Naruto waiting for me. She thought to herself, and so were the thoughts of Minato and Jiraiya. But unknown to them, as soon as they left, we see that Hiruzen turned towards the elders and bowed down, kneeling in front of them as Hiruzen morphed into another shinobi. Did I do good, Danzo-sama? Yes, you did. Now, what are we gonna do, Danzo? Now, as Danzo went towards the Hokage chair and sat down, you're under the rule of the new Hokage, Danzo Shimura. And my first order is that the Shinobi Academy is to be turned into a military grade, and only the top-notch shinobis or konoichis would be allowed to participate in them. What are you going to do with the Jinchuriki? What else? For the time being, we have to make sure that he grows, and once he is, we have to make sure that he trusts us completely. And after making sure that he is under our control, that is when we begin to mold him into the perfect weapon, the perfect attack dog. Here you go, Koharu. Make sure that this is delivered to the orphanage. And the whole village, after 3 or 2 years, is aware of his existence. But won't that jeopardize? Jeopardize it might be, but that will give us a chance to get closer to the kid so that he can trust us more, no? You're right. As now we see that Danzo that morphed into Hiruzen. As after that, 5 years went by. As 5 years later, we see that on the beginning of October, Jiraiya visited the village and was even allowed to see Naruto. A fake one that was plotted by, well, Danzo, which was in the form of Hiruzen himself, and that Naruto looked happy with all the toys that he had in his hands. See? I told you I could do a better job at raising him. I see. Naruto, don't you miss your parents at all? Or your brother? I mean, I kind of do, but it is quite nice here, you know? I like it here. I'll wait for them until they return, and I'm gonna become the strongest. You better tell that to Menma-san. As after that we see Jiraiya with a smile got up and left, content with what he has heard, but unknown to him, Naruto was the real one. Real Naruto was listening into this. You see, today he was arriving here to meet his Danzo Gigi, who he has gotten closer to, because, well, he was the only person who gave a damn about him and the other 2 elders. While the other villages just tormented him, he was thrown out from the orphanage, and many kidnap and killing attempts have been happening on his life for the past 1 year while he survived in the streets. And that is when 1 year ago he was found by his Gigi, Danzo. And from then on, he was continuing to visit him, and Danzo was telling him to train and become strong for the sake of the village. And Naruto was aiming to. As now we see, Naruto was still hiding as the fake Naruto got up and said, "Well, how was that, Danzo-sama? That was quite nice and good. You did good." As that is when the elders from the other hidden room entered as Naruto witnessed them. "Well, that was quite a nice act you put there, Danzo. Becoming Hiruzen and all that. We have to make sure that Hiruzen, our friend, is kept safe downstairs, and not only that, we also have to make sure that Naruto doesn't find out about the existence of his family. He has to believe that he is an orphan so that we can get close to him. And when the time is right, after a few more beatings and killing attempts, he will be ready to completely submit to us and become our attack dog." Yes, that is correct. I gotta hand it to you, Danzo. You were always a devious planner from ahead. But something worries me. Why haven't you gotten rid of Hiruzen yet? Why would I? He was a successful Hokage, and not to mention your teammate and our friend, or have you forgotten? And that alone is a reason enough that he should live on, because he can still fulfill his usefulness when the time is right. He can be the scapegoat, as that is when the elders arrived. So you have thought of a backup plan as well? Obviously, I would have. As now we see, Naruto, having heard enough, begin to leave with a lot of thoughts in his mind and a shockful expression, but he didn't return home. He went straight towards the woods where he began to cry after hugging his knee to himself. As that is when he heard a voice, "Kid." As Naruto looked quite shocked and looked around himself, but he found nothing. As that is when he heard the voice again, "Kid, close your eyes. I'll bring you in." As Naruto did as he was told. As now we see, Naruto, when he opened his eyes, was standing in front of a huge cage, behind which two red eyes, which were huge with slits in them, was watching him, but not menacingly, just calmly. If anything, they held pity behind them. You have been betrayed by those who you have trusted. Your family has been betrayed by those who they have trusted. What? I really do have a family? Yes, kid. I was sealed inside two of you. You have my yin side, while your brother has my yang side. That side of mine is quite violent, and I can say for myself that I am the reasoning of both of us. And I have seen enough. I can't watch an innocent child who hasn't done anything wrong to me, and anything wrong to anyone, being tormented by them who call themselves the well-wishers of Konoha. Remark my words, Naruto, and always carry them. Never trust them, not one bit. But how am I gonna survive in here? That I don't know, Naruto. But you have to find a way to unlock the seal so I can help you. In this way we can get away from here, and I might be able to track down my other half. I will. As now we see, unfortunately for Naruto, Danzo and his Aunt Rutanbo arrived in front of him. Naruto, my boy. Why are you here? You lied to me. As Danzo then dropped the act and said, "Of course I did. You hold something that is important to this village, and I will be damned if I allowed them to weaken you to the core. I have already strengthened the village by changing everything I can within the clans and within the Shinobi Academy. And they are like my Rutanbu now, emotionless and ready-made killers. Only you are left, Naruto, because I allowed you to so far. I wanted to gain your trust so that you can have some bit of emotions intact once they return. But I guess that is about to change." Grab him. As the Rutanbu went and grabbed Naruto. As the next thing Naruto knew, he was thrown into a cell ward in the root base deep within. As Danzo then said, "You're in for a hell now, kid. You should have stayed the way you had, and never should have found out about the existence of your family. There's nothing I can do." As now we see, 5 more years passed by after that incident. Naruto and Menma both reach at the age of 10. Menma, Minato, and Kushina were training there in Uchiha ruins, as Jiraiya has gone to visit Konoha. As Menma gained the courage to ask them about, well, why would Jiraiya leave every now and then, and that is when Minato and Kushina decided it was time, since Minato was mature enough to realize the existence of his brother. As after telling him everything, we see that Menma was shocked. "What? I have a brother?" Yes, and why didn't you tell me until now? You were a little kid, and Jiraiya-sama told us that he was living a happy life. But you know what, Kushina? I feel something is off. Why would Hiruzen-sama, I don't still understand to this day, would say that he wants one child to be here? He knows that for Jinchuriki it is important to keep the emotions intact, isn't it? You're right about that. But still, from what Jiraiya-sama has told us, something is off, I know for sure. I mean, Hiruzen-sama is acting weird. I have to find out. And Danzo and the elders arriving right in the nick of time? As we were about to leave? How did that happen? And how did he was able to manage to get that document signed from the daimyo? The daimyo himself said that he did sign because Hiruzen sent it. We know, but still, I don't get it. Something is going on. Something that is bad and I have to find out. Well, you're not wrong about that, said Jiraiya as he arrived back. Once I first met Naruto 5 years ago, I had my suspicions. Sensei, you're back. And what do you mean by that? I'll tell you. Naruto was acting like a spoiled kid. And a kid who has not missed a single soul, like his life was already fulfilled. And knowing a kid who has been stayed away from his family, that wouldn't be the case. He would love to meet his parents at least once in a life, even if they are the Yellow Flash or Red Death. What do you mean by that? Something is wrong. We need to find out what is going on. I have some spies within, like Kakashi and so on, and they have told me something that could be quite disturbing if it is to be true. What is? It was Danzo, in the form of Hiruzen-sama. What? What do you mean by that? Said Kushina, as she got up alongside with Minato. I have been trying to gather some evidence. That is why I have been going in and out of the village. And I finally found some. That night, the man in that room was not Hiruzen Sarutobi. It was Danzo Shimura, disguised as him. I have found out that they have kept him locked up in the hidden base room within the Hokage office. What? I don't know how, but they have kept him there. We have to free him once we have the chance and take Naruto away from Konoha, because the whole village in itself is on the verge of crumble and shambles. Kakashi, Guy, Uncle, and Kurenai and Asuma are also with us. They are ready to leave that village because they too have grown sick of how Konoha has turned out for the worst in the past 10 years or so. Naruto is in trouble? Said Menma. As hearing this, he, knowing the values of his family for the first time, was consumed by his rage and the anger of the Biju itself. And after unleashing the Kyuubi's chakra, we see that Naruto, who was also sent on a route Anbu mission by the time then, after being rigorously trained and tortured by them, was also able to react to it, as Kurama then told to him, Kid, I think your brother has just tapped into my other half's chakra. I see. At least he is okay. Oi, Kyuubi's brat. Finish the job, said one of the Rutanbu. Hi. As Naruto went on to kill the bandits that were there, and after finishing up, Naruto took the sword. Objective complete. Hand that over. As Naruto did so, as now we see the Root Anbu returned, as Naruto was then sent back to his prison cell, as there Naruto was locked up again. After taking off his mask, we see that Naruto's face was covered with scars of the past that past torture, and when he took off his armor and shirt, his whole body was covered in scars, as his cold blue eyes, which looked quite dead in the dark, turned red for a bit before flashing back to blue. How far have you come along, Kurama? Not far enough, kid, but we are getting there. Because of your Fuinjutsu skills that you have mastered and showed improvement in, he also took the bait and is going to make you a Fuinjutsu master. I have already made the half of the key. Only half of it is left. We should begin training. Some of the roots are watching you, kid. Alright, as Naruto in his cell began to train rigorously. That is until some of the roots arrived and began to gang up Naruto. Until Sai, one of the roots, arrived there. Using his scroll beast, he threw them off and sent them away. Are you okay, Naruto? As Naruto nodded, I am fine. Why do you ask, Sai? You know, when you arrived here, I was at the same age as you, remember? Yes, of course I do. I also had lost someone. But I don't know why they hate you so much. Even if they call you the Biju, the monster, or so on. All I see is a broken soul, Naruto. What happened? You changed a lot. I miss the old Naruto who was able to laugh with me, who was able to make me realize that there was more to just sadness out there. You are my friend. You are my friend. And I'll be damned if I allowed you to stay like this. I am okay, Sai. I always have been. Damn it, Naruto. Fine. As Sai then left, as now we see Sai inside his room, as he was holding back his tears because he couldn't watch Naruto go through all this pain. He was helped by Naruto when he was young and brought here, and now his friend, who has been tormented again and again and again over the course of years, he couldn't just bear witness to it. As that is when we see Kakashi arrive there. You have any more news for us? I got enough news for you, Kakashi. Call the damn Hokage back already. I'll find a route for them so that they can escape with Naruto safe and sound. But remember, Danzo has placed a lot of tracker seals on us. That you don't have to worry about. We'll be able to get you and him out. No. I'm gonna remain here. What? What do you mean by that? It is high time I make sure that Root pays for what it has done. I will make sure that not a single Root Shinobi survives when that happens, and make sure that even I and Naruto look dead before I leave. Alright. I'll make sure I tell this to Jiraiya-sama. They'll be here in no time. As after that, a letter was sent by Pakun through Kakashi all the way to Uzashigakure ruins where Jiraiya, Minato, and Kushina were. As soon as the letter arrived, we see that Jiraiya then said, "Alright, we're leaving. Within 3 days, our Rushinobi, who is, spy of Kakashi, will open a route for us so that we can take Naruto. And we may not like what we find," said Kakashi. "We have to get our son out first, and then we'll see what happens. It was already a mistake of us. We should have known that there was something wrong there. Something was amiss. Hiruzen-sama was acting weird and we didn't say anything at the time. We were fools. We were fooled, Minato. We were not fools. We were fooled. And don't worry, Konoha will pay 10 times back what it has done, especially the elders." As now we see, 3 days later, the three of them arrived at Konoha's entrance, where Kakashi and the other Anbus were standing, as Yagao, as well as Anko, as well as Kurenai, Asuma, and Kakashi and Guy were waiting. "Sensei, it's good to see you. Where is my son, Kakashi?" Sai will be here with him in no time. As now we see, Sai and Naruto arrived there. At the exit of the tunnel that led there, we see that Sai stand, as Naruto then said, "Why are you not coming, Sai?" "I can't leave. I'm just a clone who is about to run out of chakra. I have to create a diversion for you all to leave. Thank you, Naruto, for being my friend. And thank you, Kakashi, for trusting me. I'm sorry, Hokage-sama, this is the least I could do. I wish I could have done more. And Naruto, thank you for being my best friend, my only friend." As that is when we see the clone exploded, making sure the exit was sealed off completely, as Naruto then said, "No, Sai!" for the first time showing emotion in front of Kakashi and everyone, as that is when a huge explosion was heard from within the village, right under the Hokage office where the root base was, and even the explosion shockwaves was felt from the exit that was sealed. "We have to get out of here, Naruto." "No, not without Sai." "You all leave. I'll send in a clone to make sure that I check up on Sai as well." As Kakashi then sent off a clone within the village, while all of them retreated back alongside with Naruto after knocking him out. As now we see what really happened as before their escape. Right before their escape, we see that Sai with the katana in his hand. "It is time I do this. I'll repay back my friend. I'm gonna make sure at least one of us makes out of this hell, Naruto. Even if it cost me my life. As now we see, Sai for the first time went full on stealthy Itachi on the whole root Anbu squadron. As the whole roots were diminished and killed, we see the whole place was laced with explosive tags, one after the other. As soon as this happened, Sai made sure that his clone was sent to go and grab Naruto and leave. As soon as he saw that his clone has done his job, he was standing there, and surprise, surprise, Danzo and the elders arrived. Sai, what have you done? I have finished what you started. Crumbled your empire's main roots. Your roots have been cut off, Danzo, and burned. What have you done? Something that I should have done since the day I arrived. You murdered my family. You murdered my brother. And for that, I am going to take away everything from you. As Sai tried to attack him, but he was halted and stood still in his place as he was in pain. You foolish idiot. You think that I would not have had backup plans placed on your bodies if one of my dogs act up? Dogs, you say? Then how about this? Act up on this. Explode. As he made a hand seal while in pain, as he was bleeding out, with a smile on his face, as the three elders were quite shocked. Before they could leave, the door was sealed as well, with a lock seal that only he could undo. Undo it! I demand it! As the hissing sound increased. No. And for the record, go fuck yourself. As a huge explosion ensued, as everything was caught on fire and burned extremely well within the whole root base. Each and every section and the escape and in and out routes were burned down to a crisp alongside the dead bodies of the shinobi. As Sai, with a smile on his face and triumph, also perished in between. As now we see in the present that Naruto and the others finally arrived at the Uzushiogakure ruins after Kakashi found out about everything and got the memories back from his clone. So this is pretty much what happened. As Naruto for the first time shed tears after he found out that he had a family. He was my best friend. I can't believe this. I tried to distance myself from him so that he could be safe, because whoever I befriended, whether an animal or anyone, he would be killed painfully in front of me. I did not want to witness that, not to Sai at least. As hearing what he has went through, Kushina hugged him. We apologize. We are the ones at fault, son. If anyone has to apologize, it is us. We are the ones who put our trust in Sensei. The Sensei who was in front of us and not even our own Sensei. I can't believe that, said Jiraiya, as after seeing Naruto's condition and the scars, even Menma gave him a hug and cried, I'm so sorry. I wish I could have taken... No! I don't even wish that on my enemies, what I went through. No, how could I wish that on my own brother? No. Don't worry, Naruto, Menma. We're gonna make sure that Konoha pays. Because I know for sure Danzo isn't dead yet. As Jiraiya said these words, everyone looked up at him. How so? I heard that there was an Uchiha massacre, and that fool spilled out that he has a suspicion that it might be Danzo, and he wants me to investigate, sending me on a wild goose chase, or so I thought. He has the Sharingan implanted on his body, meaning he might have found a way to at least revive himself. As now we go back to Konoha to see that, using the Izanagi only once while the rest of the Sharingans were burned before he could do it, he was able to revive and give himself one final chance. That bastard. I can't believe that. Thankfully one eye was saved and I was able to revive myself. Poor fools. Well, you fulfilled your purpose. I would have gotten rid of you sooner or later. And so it is time for you to be gotten rid of. Or maybe not. Hirusen's Harutobi. I guess it is high time that Minato and Kushina will find out what happened to their child, and you be the scapegoat. As now we see, Danzo went to his office in the form of Hiruzen to begin to prepare for a plan that he will unravel in the upcoming years. As for the 3 years continuously, we see that both Menma and Naruto trained and even went out on dangerous missions thanks to Naruto's already experience. Naruto had his first kill way before any of that, and he was quite cool with killing. It took a lot of efforts from his parents and from Jiraiya, as well as the other shinobis that were now working as their team squadron to make sure that Naruto was getting used to emotions as well, because he has grown cold over the course of 10 years. As no matter how much he tried to convince his parents that he was fine, he always saw the pain in their eyes and guilt of leaving him behind, and even heard his own mother mumble and cry herself to sleep that how of a bad mother she has been to him. And Naruto from then on knew for the first time that he has to take revenge on Danzo and on Konoha for what they have done to him. They have already taken everything away from him, and he'll be damned if he allowed this to continue. As this was going on, we see that Akatsuki was also making a move, as surprisingly enough, Jiraiya was sent by Minato to investigate what they wanted since they were aiming for Bijus. As Jiraiya arrived at Amegakure, finding their location, and the same confrontation as in canon was held, but the only difference was that this time Naruto arrived using the Harashi no Jutsu that he has mastered on the course of years. He tagged each and every one of his family members, knowing that in this way he'll be able to get to them faster than possible. He has been tailing Jiraiya, but since he has transformed into the Toad and entered the Amegakure village, he tried to remain behind until he heard an explosion, and that is when he arrives there, right before the first stab from the Rod of Pain could be hit to Jiraiya, as Naruto grabbed that rod and broke it. "You have some nerve coming here yourself, Naruto Uzumaki." As Naruto then said, "Kurama, now." As Jiraiya witnessed Naruto exploding in the form of a stable and under control Cubist chakra, as Naruto was now into the KCM2 state. "What? How did you?" "I have been training in secret with Kurama himself. It is high time I do this." As Naruto, what happened next was unleashed KCM2 on a Harishin, and his katana unleashed on all of them, becoming a blur of katanas. Wherever he passed, only cube-sized pieces of the people were left behind. His slashes were so precise that no one was able to kept alive. All the paths of fate fell down, and even Konan was on his knees. As Naruto stabbed her in the leg and demanded, "Where is the rest of the Akatsuki hiding?" As she screamed, "I don't care how long you scream." As Naruto took out the katana and stabbed right in her chest, "Tell me." "I won't." As Naruto continued to torture her until she spilled out after having enough of the pain. And that is when the real Nagato arrived as well and threw Naruto away. "Stop it! What do you want? Why are you doing this?" How the table have turned. I wanted to ask you the same. Why are you hunting down me and my brother? "I don't care what happens to me, you see. I've been through hell," said Naruto, as he unsheathed his katana as it was now in flames. "But whoever dares to mess with my family or my brother, I'll literally shred them to pieces." As Naruto, with a single swipe of his neck, killed the redhead. I don't even care if it is an Uzumaki or not. As now we see Nagato's neck was cleaved off from his head, as Naruto destroyed his Rinnegan by stabbing katana in both of his eyes in front of Konan, and after that he stabbed Konan in the mouth with his katana, making sure that she shut it up. "What should we do now, Jiraiya?" "Naruto," Jiraiya said with complete shock. "I've been through hell, Jiraiya. This is nothing. It is survive in there. Only survive. I had to. And I'm gonna make sure. I'm gonna try my best to make sure that my family survives this hell." As that is when the rest of the Akatsuki attacked Naruto, and all hell broke loose as Naruto, using his full strength, unleashed on the whole Akatsuki. The battle pursued as Jiraiya also aided Naruto as the best he could, as he took on none other than Kisame Hoshigaki, as Itachi Uchiha, who was also the Uchiha killer, was also there. Right after they joined the Uchiha, right after the Uchiha clan changed and joined Danzo, he left Konoha after butchering his own clan. "What are you doing, Jiraiya, why is Naruto doing this? Shouldn't he be... He should be in Konoha? No, he is with us for the past 3 years. I see. So the explosion, the escape, everything was planned by you. It was Naruto's friend who sacrificed himself. I say that Itachi, you have served me enough. How about you return to our side again? With pleasure. As taking out his katana, he stabbed Kisame in the back. I'm sorry, Kisame. Always knew, Itachi, that you were going to betray me. But I guess I'd rather be stabbed by you than anyone else. It was a good run, Itachi. Good run indeed. It was, Kisame. As Kisame perished, and soon after that, Itachi and, Jiraiya took on none other than the immortal duo. As while being careful, they fought him. As now we see, Naruto was fighting none other than the masked person that Kurama told him was, in fact, the one behind the QB attack. And not only that, the others as well. It took the whole day of battling, and Naruto had still enough chakra or willpower to kill them all. And in the end, even Zetsu wasn't able to stand in front of him and perished. As now we see Naruto in a weakened state, barely able to stand up, walking towards Jiraiya and Itachi. I'm gonna pass out now. You did good, kid. Why don't you rest and leave the rest to us? As after that we see Naruto's eyes open back at home, as he went downstairs to find out that his family was already planning something. What are you guys planning? What we should have done. It is high time that Konoha pays for what it has done. I see. Menma? I'm ready. Then let us fulfill the prophecy. As now we see, right on the outskirts of Konoha, on October 10th, in nighttime once more, but 14 years later, after the first QB attack, 2 golden Bijus emerged and began to charge towards Konoha. They were 2 QB, as this time the people were terrified. They couldn't barely deal with one, and now they had 2 to deal with, as Danzo Shimura himself arrived at the battlefield alongside his shinobis and everyone in the whole village that turned their backs on everyone and joined him. And what happened next was all-out chaos, one-sided battle that was being, the losing end of Konoha, as Danzo couldn't believe it. He was witnessing the end of the shinobi world with his own eyes, and that is when he remembered the words of Jiraiya. These prophecies, they do tend to fulfill themselves. And once they do, there's no turning back. You know that? As that is when he realized his mistake. He shouldn't have done this. He should have become the Hokage only. Damn it all. As now we see Danzo trying to run, and that is when Minato arrived in front of him and gave him a kick to the chest. And that is when on the other side Kushina arrived and punched him in the face. As now we see Jiraiya on the other side was freeing Hiruzen Sarutobi, who was cuffed in chains and was tied to the wall. And he looked quite weakened as well. Sensei. Oh no. Tsunade. Use the replenishing chakra to make sure that he survives. On it. Using the 100 healing marks, Tsunade revived her sensei back to his vitality, as he was back to his normal self but still weakened. What is going on here? Jiraiya. Tsunade, how did you find me? It was quite obvious. Something was off. We knew for sure that you have been replaced. We had to just find you. As that is when we see Asuma arrive. Father, we have to go. Take him back to the hideout. We'll be done here soon. As now we see, after that Tsunade and Jiraiya joined in too, and they saw that Minato and Kushina were torturing Danzo, and his whole body was covered in scars. I am the Hokage. I demand you to. As what happened next was Tsunade grabbing him and punched him straight throughout the chest, grabbing his heart on the other side and crushing it with a single hand. You don't deserve to live and don't get to order me around, you son of a bitch. As after that Danzo died then and there, as the whole Konoha was perished by the 2 demons that, was charging towards it. The next sunrise, the news spread out that Konoha was no more, and it was destroyed by its own Biju for mistreating it. And from then on, the warning spread out, and the Bijus were now being seen in a new light, and so did the Jinchurikis. Iwa and Takigakure changed its ways, And as for Naruto and Menma, they returned back with their family to Uchiha ruins, where now the ruins only remained of the past, but they have built houses for themselves. As inside one of their houses, we see that Hiruzen was informed of everything. As when Naruto arrived, he looked towards Hiruzen. "I'm sorry, Naruto. I know that it wasn't me, but my face was being used. I trusted the elders too much, and because of my carelessness, you suffered. It's not your fault, Hiruzen-sama, entirely. We all can be careless a little bit too times without those who we trust. I learned that a long time ago. But it is over now. We are free. That we are. As now we see, it was a new morning and a new beginning of the Uzumaki Namikaze family and their allies. And as for Konoha, the story began from October 10th and ended on October 10th with a QB attack. Again, becoming the disaster that ended them once and for all. Becoming a warning to the whole elemental nation that they should respect the Jinchurikis and the Bijus, because if both align themselves together, they are done for. As this is where I'm going to be leaving this short movie off, guys. I hope you enjoyed this one, and if you did, then make sure you leave a like and subscribe to my channel if you like the content of this channel. As this is Apollo Uchiha, and I'm signing off for the day. Peace!